everybody. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast, 2.5 Gamers, session number 17. Discussing latest news, fun stuff, and dropping some knowledge. But again, don't forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not be too serious. Okay, let's dive in. And
No. I first need to ask you.
No.
Was the juice worth the squeeze, and how was your beach party?
Dude, yeah, I was dancing with your microphone. So yeah, that's I need to mention that obviously I got COVID and my whole family as well. So I need to prolong my stay in the US for another week. But it's, what can we do? At least, I told to my wife and my friends as well, like, look, so I do feel like this almost every time after the music festival. So I was really weak, headache. I mean, my muscles were aching as fuck. And also, like, what was that? Like, bones as well. Everything just felt really weird. But yeah, I mean, this is almost the same as after all the music festivals anyway. Although just without the depression. I wasn't depressed too much. But how was your week, guys? Thanks for covering for me last time. I really felt like shit. Jokes aside.
Happy to do it, man.
Pretty good, actually, I would say. Not that heavy on new stuff. Lots of work done, so that's good. Lots of eldering work done, so that's progressing nicely. And yeah, we'll see.
Do you switch Lost Ark to Elden Ring?
Yeah, of course. Lost Ark was for me, I pretty much finished my mission there, which is to learn the business model and game mechanics. That's it. Nothing.
And fuck off.
Yeah, nothing new I can get out of that for now.
Fair enough. Well, you were off in learning business ethics, tactics, and world dominance, and Machi was getting COVID.
Trying to survive.
Some things actually happened that actually we've been waiting to discuss with you guys. So we're going to do a different one. Instead of just jumping straight in the news, let's just have a little 10-minute discussion, because in the last couple of weeks, there's been quite a seismic shift in the sense that markets have crashed, crypto markets have crashed, US house sales are down, the Fed is hiking interest rates, and it looks like we're heading into a recession. And this will be the first ever recession that has faced the mobile gaming industry. Because the last recession we had was 2008. And which mobile games were out in 2008, Remo?
No comment.
No comment. Yeah, none.
No comment.
None,
yeah. Angry Birds.
Yeah, maybe Angry Birds. Flappy Bird, maybe.
Plants vs. Zombies.
Exactly. So this is actually the first time we're going to be facing a recession. People are saying, or at least at Nordic Game, I had a couple conversations with investors that have said capital markets are pretty much freezing up. And, in about 6 to 8 months, this will hit consumers. So right around Christmas time, that's when consumers will start feeling this. And that's what the clever money in our industry is saying when it's going to hit. So I just wanted to have a little quick discussion with you two, who I used to think are quite clever before you got COVID. After COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I never got
After COVID, everything is fucked.
Yeah, you're still clever, Remo.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I guess we have a fourth special guest on our podcast, COVID-19. So Felix already got it twice, and now I got it.
I got it so Remo didn't have to get it. I got it twice.
Oh.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Anyway, so I just want to have a discussion around what you guys think the impact will be if consumer demand decreases, especially in the States where, a lot of these mobile games is the key market. And I guess the first thing I wanted to ask both of you guys, that the biggest question that no one really knows, is the demand for mobile games elastic or inelastic? That is to say, will consumers keep spending on mobile games even though they have less disposable income?
I would say if you look at the, let's say, jobs numbers in America, how people got pretty much kicked out of their jobs during COVID, it wasn't really defined as a recession, I would say, per se, but it was just a decline. In some pretty much sectors of the economy. Yeah, mobile gaming thrives pretty much. There was this big boost. Everybody was just riding the wave, and yeah, rainbows all over. So I wouldn't think so that mobile gaming is the one thing that people will start to cut on their kind of a priority list in recession. Maybe some kind of a bigger spending objects on the list. So maybe they will, withhold a little bit until they buy a new car, or maybe they postpone their moving into bigger house or stuff like that. But mobile gaming per se, the ones where you just pay, microtransactions in vicinity of like $5 to $10, I don't think so that will be that big of a problem. Crypto gaming, on the other hand, where there's like really big sums of money flying around, will be hit.
Really well. Anderson and Horowitz just raised this huge crypto fund, so I guess it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, I'm not talking about investors. I'm talking about the consumers, the people who actually pay those outrageous prices for the NFT pictures of owls and monkeys.
Yeah, okay, but that's another discussion. I mean, right now they won't most probably buy those, or maybe now they will, because it's just for a way lower price than before. You can afford buying an ape for way cheaper than before. So
I read an article on, I think, Wall Street Journal or somewhere there. They were discussing how much underwater you are currently, and there's 80%, 60% loss on all of those NFTs.
Of course,
if you buy them last year.
I read also a lot of people already lost houses, and they have no money thanks to buying all of this shit before. So, but that's all the hype. If you ride the hype train, then you need to face the consequences afterwards.
But regarding normal mobile gaming, I wouldn't say so. That there's from consumer perspective, there will be big decline. Maybe kind of a
but I
not
don't
that
think
big of a growth.
Yeah, you don't think you can't compare it directly to the COVID. I mean, I think the situation is way different than before. So we thought that it's gonna be really bad during COVID, and actually the quite opposite happened. But but it was also mainly because all other brands stopped spending on advertising, and the competition was really low in those days in terms of the marketing. So everybody was really trying to switch from offline to online, because that was the only thing that could happen. But now even the online will drop quite heavily.
Yeah, but the big thing in everybody's eyes is the rising cost of inflation. Oh, I mean, rising cost of living. That's what the inflation is doing to their. Your daily budget is pretty much getting cut out.
So I sat next to an investor at a dinner in Nordic Game, actually organized by some Rovio friends of ours. We got invited. We're not hated. So he said something quite interesting. He said that he's been through 2 recessions already before. So he's a bit, different generation. So he said that during the recessions, people always keep spending money on their rent and food. And now he says that pretty much during this recession, what will happen is people will cut back on entertainment expenses, but you'll still be at home more time. So you'll have more time with your phone. So his kind of thesis was that he expects mobile gaming not to be that impacted, at least kind of the lower LTV genres. And that's kind of what he was expecting will happen. So that was kind of his theory moving forward. But I would love to ask Mattia, what did you see happen in kind of the COVID dip for UA? What happened with CPIs? What do you think would happen if there's a big recession? How much of, demand on UA is propped up by non-gaming?
So I think what will happen for the companies in terms of the UA, they might cut back the spend, and also in these times, most probably we'll just focus on short-term ROI rather than long-term, because it's going to be really up in the air. The money, if you were seeing payback periods for 2 or 3 years back then, most probably this won't work in the recession. And I mean, there was a really nice presentation by Eric Soffer, obviously, that outlined this. So I think that's going to happen. people will still spend, but against a short period of time for a payback period. So instead of 2 years, maybe like 6 months, 3 months, just to have a cash on the bank account.
What do you think CPIs will do?
In terms of CPIs, I have no idea. Man, I have no idea.
Logic would say, like, if brands are expecting less consumer spending, they would cut up on marketing also. So could give space to mobile games.
Sure, but logic is like a lot of time in these times won't apply too much, because logic also said during COVID, like, okay, so we are going to be fucked, and like exactly opposite happened. Really, like.
So if I'm thinking about it logically, like it feels like the games genres like at the fringes will be the ones that are at the risk to be like most impacted. So I'm thinking hyper casual has a risk of being quite impacted, and you have social casino, which risks being quite impacted because it's very high LTV users, so that's not that many. And yeah, hyper casual, like which relies on advertising, which could potentially be impacted depending on what happens. What do you guys think?
But would the social casino actually be impacted that much? Because those guys have really like a high disposable income, and then they're still like most probably gonna be paying quite a lot of money.
Isn't social casino still considered to be impacted by IDFA recovering from that blow?
Could be a double punch.
Could be.
Don't know. But I would say, healthy mid-core or casual games will thrive still. Don't think so, because they don't kind of rely on that outrageous LTVs, and outrageous CPIs. So I would say that maybe you just won't be able to get to that scale that, doing 15, 20 mil a month rather than, 5 mil, 1 mil a month, something there.
Do you see anything you think?
We need to look into our crystal balls and see what's going to happen.
Do you think anything, Remo, like you could do game design wise, like something clever you can come up with now on the spot and show how good you are, and that could help during a recession? Recession bundle?
Recession bundle. What would you see in the recession bundle? I would really like to see that.
50% off, limited edition. I don't know.
500% off.
Yeah, actually, the 500% off we already have. It's called Battle Pass, because Battle Pass is the biggest discount on their current economy trading monetization for retention. So we already have that. So maybe something even more outrageous, but yeah, don't think so. I would say the best kind of thing you can do is invest in quality content that people will buy in. That would be probably it.
My God, invest in high quality content. No bullshit gaming podcast, dude.
Fucking answer, man.
Yeah,
it's a safe answer.
Not
bet.
Very edgy.
Really. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with this before we move on to our news story this week. The investor also told me that he expects kind of game investing to really slow down, like in 6 months, because the capital markets have seized up, and still VCs, they do get their money from the capital markets, and they have LPs, and he does expect it. Like the bar to getting financed will be way higher, and the days of raising, seed rounds or like starting rounds at like 50 million, those days are over right now. And yeah, I kind of agree with him saying that. So it'll be harder to raise a big round.
Last time we were talking about kind of a similar topic when this acquisition by Take-Two of Zynga couldn't be topped anymore. It was kind of topped in a week, so I'm looking forward to next week, actually.
Okay. Very true. Yeah, very true. But, investor need to say that, okay, so it's going to be harder to get funds, but we will see what happens. There are still these bigger funds with all these 600 millions, 750 millions dollars to be be deployed. So
yeah, it was just like this month, wasn't it? When A1CC just established the games
away.
fund. Yeah, 600 mil. Yeah. Why not?
So someone needs to spend that money.
Yeah, you need to spend that money. Otherwise, inflation will eat it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So, Remo, the news.
News. Yeah, our favorite story that everybody's currently talking about, which is Apex Legends. After a long time, it finally got released, or let's say global launch on mobile. It's currently doing almost 5 million in the first week. If I check the data on our favorite data analytics sites, it's like 500K a day in revenue. It was launched on May 17 and hit like number one on iPhone game downloads in nearly 60 countries. In terms of territory, US saw the most of the installs, and then followed by India and Brazil. Apex Legends, as you probably know, similar to its PC and console counterpart, is free to play, but does contain premium cosmetics and a battle pass. US was also the top country for the spending, generating 44% of that 5 million revenue, and Japan ranked second, and then followed by Thailand.
Interesting.
The biggest comparison people are of course drawing is against Call of Duty Mobile, which did 14.8 million in its first week. But yeah, depends how you look at it or how you frame it, because nobody knows what's the spend here on UA from both EA or Activision Blizzard. So could be a very different kind of a tactic here, rather than spend big and go wild, or just gradually add on the spend. We'll see.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if EA is doing the UA, then yikes.
Not much.
Careful, much. You're still in America for another week. You can get sued.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, not much has been spared for EA's mobile endeavors, I would say, in the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. I guess this is one of the bigger endeavors by EA concerning mobile, is it? Is there anything else there on their kind of a playbook currently?
Well, it's Galaxy, what was it? Galaxy of Heroes?
Oh, yeah. The Star Wars RPG behemoth. Yeah, but actually I think the second biggest thing they have on portfolio is SimCity, isn't it?
SimCity. Yeah, SimCity. Yeah.
Made by our friends in Finland.
Sims.
Yeah.
Sims or SimCity. Sims.
And Sims.
Oh, Sims.
Sims, yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah. Any predictions on this one? 500K a day, it's what, as we said, like 15 mil a month?
Yeah, I said already they're going to be earning at least 10 million a month. You laughed at me, Jakub. You laughed at me. So,
yeah, but let's see in 2 months.
Let's see in 2 months, of course. Yeah, let's see in 2 months. I said they're going to make like 70 million until the end of the year. So hopefully they will make it. Felix, how about you?
I need to play it first. I still haven't played it.
Come on, have you played it on PC or not at all?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, come on.
Like for me, one of the, let's say, red factors, or let's say the problems there is it's more sci-fi oriented, which isn't that casual, or let's say that not casual but kind of mainstream compatible.
Really? Where did you get that?
What does that mean?
Sci-fi is the worst genre, man. Like literally.
Why?
Because it's kind of a niche. Like it's the smallest of the, let's say, if you have fantasy, military, or all these other kind of audiences that are receptive to these themes. So sci-fi is definitely the smallest one.
Okay, but Apex on PC is not a really small game. So why would it be small on mobile?
Because you're now trying to get people that never saw the PC or console version in. Ever.
Really?
Really?
Why?
Or you think so otherwise?
I've never played Apex Legends, and I still know what it is.
I think it's gonna be both.
Like you know how Fortnite does on mobile. Fortnite uses it just as a kind of acquisition funnel.
Sure, of course.
It's not rentable. They said it.
Yeah, but if you're making 15 mil a month, you need to spend a lot of money to not be profitable.
Yeah, let's see. Like I'm kind of a little bit more skeptic.
Of course you are.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, okay.
If you've built a mobile game for iOS or Android, you've experienced user churn. You can win those users back, but it's getting more and more expensive, even more so to acquire totally new users. Enter cross-promotion with Addictive. By identifying your users likely to churn early, you can showcase another game in your portfolio before they leave forever, transforming a lost user into a new user, increasing your revenues. Learn more now at addictive.com.
Let's see. All right, so I think we can go and we can move to the main topic, which is a creative framework that I want to describe. I want to describe the process from scratch, what I do, and then thanks to Felix last time, he was sharing the secret tips. So I'm going to share a secret tips where to get an inspiration for creatives. And then talk about
Is this why you went to California then?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Getting the inspiration. The inspiration is all around us. And then how the work on creative changed thanks to the IDFAs and whatever. If there is still innovation happening in creatives. And how closely should the UA work with the game team and art team? And if there is if art director should actually own anything UA related, because that's always a discussion point that comes up. And yeah, before I dive into that, guys, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. We're growing there, and we want to grow even more. All right, so before I just describe the process, so guys, what do you think it really needs, like a proper creative framework? So is it competitor research? Is it just like any innovation, or is there any particular step that you think shouldn't be avoided?
Judging from the ads that I always ban, the ones I always get the most complaints on is the ones that have a shock factor. This last week I had to ban an app. I think it was Merge Mansion or something like that. They like taped a baby to the wall. Like that was pretty creative, but it was pretty outrageous.
Oof. Okay.
Actor one or like comic one?
Well, this should be like cartoony, not an actor.
Okay.
If you type real baby on the wall, you have a problem already. So yeah, well, shocking or like anything emotions related is really a good thing to have inside the creative. It's all about the emotions anyway. So how does the process look like? I usually start with the competitor research, using different tools such as Mobile Action, Data AI, or App Any, Sensor Tower. Or we have also App Magic, which is
Data AI. You mean?
I said Data AI or App Any. You need to always mention that. Some people still don't know, and I refuse to call them Data AI anyway. Nevertheless, we have App Magic and then some other tools, but we have also free tools like Facebook Ads Library and even TikTok Library these days, where you can check what are your competitors doing. Although if you have only Facebook Ads Library, you will going to see only Facebook, and if you are looking into TikTok Library, obviously only TikTok creatives. But at least it can give you some kind of idea. So looking at the competitors and then also looking at any types of old creatives that you ran before, it's usually pretty good exercise, because if you are running a creatives or running a UA for a long period of time, then you most probably tried almost everything that exists on the earth from different angles. But you definitely need to know what worked the best and what didn't work at all. So those are like really good points for a brainstorming session, because brainstorming session always happens just, to create a creative brief full of creative concepts. So taking the insights from the competitor research and the creative assessments and the history of creatives really helps to start a discussion and start the brainstorming. And then
wait. Who's doing this? Who's doing this brainstorming? Is it the UA manager? Is it like a creative person? Like, what's going on?
Well, ideally multiple departments. So I would say creative, creative person. So from my team, it's an idea maker. So it's the guy or girl
Who
that
makes ideas.
yeah, who just idea. Well, idea who makes ideas. No, but just idea maker. Also, like he's in charge of the brainstorming because he or she then writes down all the concepts and then also like do the competitor research, because UA people and UA managers can do that, but you still need some kind of creative thinking, and then not a lot of UA managers are always also creative thinkers. That's what can we do? You have those like managers that rely on data, and then you have like Swiss Army knives that they can do like a lot of things. But back to your question. So it's idea maker, then motion designers, ideally a creative lead, which also can be the idea maker, and then the UA managers. For some time, I also tend to invite product managers or game designers or anyone from the game team, just for them to be able to see how the process look like, then what kind of creatives we are thinking about, and maybe he or she can also like give us some inputs into the creative brainstorming and the briefs. So I see Jakub is already smiling.
Yeah, because I never see that kind of a run through really well through product people who just don't really appreciate to product through this whole like fake ad pipeline, or the things that you in the end release.
That depends on like how fake it is, and like if you want to make money or not. It's just very simple.
It's about knowledge, of course. Like you need to know how this kind of CPI LTV machine runs, and if you don't understand it, don't go into that meeting, because you just holding it down.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I want to discuss also with these like art directors, because it's very different type of people, and also the same thing with the product team. So we are always trying to be very close to the product team and the art team, and it's always really good to hear those inputs into the creative process. But the game teams should never own anything in terms of the UA, because I care only about the performance, and as you said, like you definitely need to understand very well how the CPI versus the LTV equation works, and you need to focus on that rather than just focus on how the creative looks like. And if it's blue, yellow, if it's according to the brand guidelines, or if it's just like really polished, yes, of course, this really matter in terms of the brand and everything, but I care about the performance. If it makes money, I don't care if it's looking really terrible or if it's a high production value. And most of the time, the high production value, really good looking creatives don't work that well. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. It's it is how it is.
Why don't people know that? Like that's quite known, but like it's like the uglier creatives, they always perform better. But like especially with product people, I've said like plenty of times when I worked in retargeting, like people got really angry with creatives we made because they didn't look very good, and we're like, yeah, but this pink stuff right here, it will work.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
I think so. It's that very at least among product people, maybe just the seasoned ones, but like usually if you have, let's say, your usual art director or a graphic person or like a product manager, you'll just say like, oh, this looks like shit. Like, why are we using this? And then like, oh, here's the ROI, and here's the ROI of a nice, high production value creative that did nothing for us.
Yeah, and then it's always the discussion that, well, what is ROI? That's the worst. That's the worst. That happened to me. Yeah, that happened to me before as well, because they don't care about the performance. They care only about how their baby looks like and how it's marketed, and that's the only thing. But you need to pay people salaries as well. So but it's always very, very interesting discussion, and this for example, this is what happened to me. So in one meeting we had, one guy said like, hey Matej, like no offense, but the creative that is really the best performer looks like shit. I was like, yeah, well, I wanted to say something, but the co-founders were on the meeting and said, look, we don't care. It's called performance marketing. We look at the data, we run the creatives that bring money to the company, and that's all we care about. So that's the ideal scenario. But also what happened to me quite recently was that someone said, look, so can you pause the good performing creatives, because our art director doesn't like them. I was like, yeah, but do you see how they're performing quite well? Like, yeah, but it's not, they're not made according to our brand guidelines. So need to change. We need to pause them.
Please turn off the money. Let the money not go to us.
Yeah, please. We don't care about the money. So please, can you make us less money? I mean, this is like I always try to fight this. Well, not fight, but show exactly like, okay, so this is the creative that looks really, really good, and it's according to all your feedback. And this is the original creative that we made based on the experience and the different games that we managed. And like 9 out of 10, always the worst looking creative is performing better. But it's I'm always trying to say that, but then I have the data, and then like data don't lie, so it's actually bulletproof. But yeah, okay. Yeah, Felix is thinking.
No, I was just like, okay, that makes complete sense. So if we're summing up what you said, basically look at your competitors' creatives, get people to get in the room with one motion designer, one creative person, and a UA person, maybe a product person.
Ideally, yeah.
What happens then?
Yeah, then
we're halfway there.
Yeah, we're halfway there. We have the creative brief, which is a document that comes out of the brainstorming. It's usually in a written or visual form, where you have all the creative concepts, so everybody knows like what's going to happen and what's going to be produced. Then usually there's like 1 or 2 concepts that are agreed on, and then we're moving forward with the production. Then the fun starts, because then you need to test it. You need to check it against the creative winners that you had before, and then if you test it and you see you found a new winner, then ideally iterate on the new winner, and then the whole new brainstorming session starts, and the whole process starts all over again, because you need to find the new creative winners, and it's really hard to find those. And there are some articles and data flying around that 95% of the new concepts that you produce are not going to be winners. Well,
sounds like
yes
game
and no.
design.
Yeah. It's like yes and no. It's really hard to figure out like what exactly works, because even now, when everybody is just talking about all these like personas and everything, yes, I mean personas were here since the beginning of marketing, and now it's really sexy to talk about it, because IDFA is all the iOS, and it's really hard to measure everything properly. So now it's like you are using the personas and then trying to really create the creatives accordingly. But it's not that straightforward. Even Facebook came up with these like really 8 personas process, and we tried that as well in the past. And if I tested against the best performing creative, it was not even close to the performance that we had. And what was the best performing creative? The ones that we took from the hyper casual genre. Hey. So it's all I've been saying for the last 6 months. But yeah. So it's really tough on the creative side to actually find the winner if you are using all these like old processes, looking at the personas, and you try to define them. I mean, like you are focusing on defining personas for 2 months, and then you create the creatives and it doesn't work. Why?
So skip the personas.
Because people don't care. They want to see something funny. They want to enjoy it. If it's if there is emotion in the ad, or if it's shocking content, something that catches your attention, and that's it. You can create concepts for any personas, and it's I think I saw some kind of really interesting persona example. It's like 50-year-old man from somewhere, and the one was a doctor, and the other one was Ozzy Osbourne. So it was most probably like older than 50 years old, but still.
Oh, you mean Prince Charles and Ozzy Osbourne? That's the usual example.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one that's being used.
Maybe. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. Okay, well, you can use that, but definitely something different will resonate with these people, or like Prince Charles or Ozzy Osbourne, obviously.
Yeah, I would say people kind of underestimate how fast you need to be, or let's say how's the frequency of this whole thing. Because you have your brainstorming, you have your creative, now you are testing against your winners. But let's say, can you give us some kind of an example of how would be like a good frequency of these, or how much you would need to run these in order to make some kind of a, let's say, efficient performance on your spend?
You need to have at least one new concept a week. So I had the conversation with the multiple developers, and they said like, oh, well, we are changing creatives once a month. Like, yeah, sure. If this was 2015, that would be an amazing cadence. But now, where you have a creative that is not, the lifetime of the creative is not that long anymore, and it's gonna really, like, the creative edit is going to hit. Yeah, it's going to burn fast in like 1 or 2 weeks. So you need to be really on top of everything. So I think like every week at least one new creative concept is the most efficient way.
I think this is already like killer tempo for like half of the industry.
Sure, but you don't need to do that, but you will see the decline on the performance quite heavily.
But it's also a question of luck a little bit, if I understand correctly, because you need to find your kind of a breadwinner where, let's say, that pink creative where the guy falls into lava wasn't found just like on day one in Playrix or whoever come up with that. I guess of
course.
They just 100%. Need to run like multitudes of these, like hundreds or even thousands, and then finally, this one has the best performance. Let's run this for 3 years, and we scaled the game to 15 mil, and that's it.
Yeah, of course.
This makes me so ad frequency once a week. That's like it's higher than 2015. Makes sense. Like more competitive. This makes me want to ask I have no idea. Like I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Like I get paid to put ads in my games, but how much does a creative go for? Like how much does a good banner cost? Like what's the range? What's a good range for video creatives? What's a good range for playables?
Yeah, the thing is, like, what's a good range is a very bad question, because it's the same thing as with the higher production value and the horrible looking video. So you can make a video for like 1,000 euros. You can make one for like 50,000 euros. It's
okay. So what should you usually like? Where you get the best results? Like,
it's again, what should you do? What you should do is have multiple different creative concepts. So you have high production value, you have something crazy, really low production value as well, like something that's really terrible looking. I mean, you don't need to do that like on purpose, but still.
Let's call it efficient.
Let's call it efficient. Yeah, efficient, something efficient, and then like multiple shocking content. So different angles. So you spend, for example, a couple of thousands for the creative production, like 5,000 euros for creative production, which you will get five videos. Let's say that.
Is that a good a standard price that you see, or? Yeah,
I think that's a standard price. It can be more, obviously, with the higher, more expensive agencies, but it can be even less. Depends on who you work with, and it can be like very same efficiency in terms of the ROI. So that's why I always try to get such a different variety of creative concepts for the start, and also like not only for the start, but even if you find the winner, you still need to iterate and you still need to try to find the new creative concepts, because even if you are a player X, you find that pull the pin creative, or you find any like Austin falling into the lava, but you still need to find that other shark versus Nemo types of creative for fishdom. So it's always like that, and it's not easy, obviously. But where to get the inspiration? That's the 5 secret tips I have for you guys. So I always try to look at multiple things. So first of all, YouTube videos or even TikTok videos with large number of views. So for example, there was a huge trend of the influencer unboxing videos. We see chest opening videos got like millions of views. We also see ASMR, slicing, chewing, and still like these type of things, which were actually like even translated into hyper casual games. So this was used for hyper casual games, but it's also can be used quite efficiently for coming up with ideas for creatives.
Yeah, game design input. Hyper casual games are first born through creatives. That's why it worked for them.
Exactly, that's why it worked. But then you have, like you said, that's why I'm here in California. You just can use the current situation. So COVID, for example. So if you have, cooking game, you can use a simple creative and ask players like, hey, what's your favorite quarantine meal, for example. Then you can use a football Euro, UEFA Cup, or whatever is happening around you. But also in this matter, like seasonal creatives. Although I wrote an article about how seasonal creatives suck balls, really, because it's really not efficient, but everybody uses them for some reason. I'm not sure why. I need to mention this, like, hey guys, so if you use Christmas creatives, you be sure that to use like the whole funnel in terms of the Christmas creatives. So icon, screenshots, feature graphic, even create a video inside the store, because if you use Santa or whatever snow related creative in Facebook or in other UA channels, it doesn't work, because you're creating some kind of expectations for players, and then they land into your store. What they find out, nothing Christmas related at all, so nobody cares. And even like the best scenario is you have seasonal content inside the game as well. So they see Christmas ad, they see Christmas screenshots and store listing, and then they see a Christmas special offer or Christmas event in the game. That's the best scenario. A lot of people just forget about this, and then they are trying to scratch their head in the middle of like January or February, like, oh wait, we still have the Christmas icon in our store. Oh, we forgot about it. And then the conversion rate on store like decreases heavily, and nobody knows why. Well, here's why. So, but yeah, okay. So that's seasonal creatives. We have like 3 more tips. So we can use memes. Anything that is trending at the moment can be translated into creative. We saw a lot of like Drake memes before. A lot of what else?
Where do you go and see it? Just on Instagram or like where?
Instagram, 9gag, 4chan, wherever. It's just you just swipe, you just browse
Through internet culture.
Yeah. You
Whatever
just,
that means.
Yeah, you do your usual session on the toilet where you just swipe through all these and you find memes. Then you can use that.
Hey, at least you're honest.
Quite efficient. Yeah, at least well, that's how it works. And I found one really like good performing creative when I was like browsing through Instagram, I think. So I saw one video when one woman gets slapped with a fish, completely unrelated, And so we just put that fish into a tank. We, shot the fish from the tank, put that meme video inside the creative, and then connect it to the gameplay. Best performing creative for like 3 months. Everybody was laughing so hard. I was like, wow, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. And this was it. Really easy idea. Then it was really important to also leverage this hype around us. So a really good example was the Netflix series of Witcher. So we borrowed a Witcher and
ride the hype wave pretty much.
Yeah, ride the hype wave. We borrowed the Witcher appearance and just made one of our characters from the game look like Witcher and called it the Hiltzer, and it was like really exploded. That was kind of nice. And also, like, you can do this if you draw these IPs, because then it's license free, as I remember. You don't get sued, basically.
Do you have any of these creatives? It would be great if you could put them in the show notes if you're allowed to share them. I'd actually like to see this.
Yeah. I will put a deck in the show notes so everybody can see that. And the last but not least, the different genres, which I think is really important, not to look only in your casual game. You can just try to borrow something from mid-core, but most probably won't work that much. But definitely borrow something from hyper-casual. That's something that worked really well for me and for other gaming companies, because I think still, like, this is a huge innovation that is happening. Which means, you're adapting like hyper casual games or their mechanics into your creatives. And I'm not talking only about like Noob versus Pro, but also there was this ASMR slicing where Coin Master was slicing their coins and also using some Calm creatives from Calm, the meditation app. They're also using these ASMR creatives, but also, Playrix and Wolfpath is also using these type of creatives where you just use all the hyper casual mechanics and just adapt it to your visual design of the game. And it is kind of an evolution of fake ads, but it's slightly closer to the actual gameplay that you have. Even it's not pull the pins, of course. That's slightly, but it still works. It still works quite well.
Yeah, if it works, you can't complain. That's the usual.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I think that's that would be all from my side in terms of the creatives and the top secret tips for where to get the inspiration. Because there is always the discussion about how to automate all the creatives, because blah blah blah, automation bullshit. But you can't automate the creativity and actually coming up with the actual concepts. You can automate everything else.
Sounds to me, by the way, like how hyper casual games are made. Like these are exactly the same list. Like you just go around these kind of trends or like things that you think could go viral. Then you create a creative, and the gameplay is in the creative. If it performs well, you create the game. That's it. Yeah,
but then it's exactly the same process. Now with you just need to then adapt it to your visual design of the game. Where with the hyper casual you need to actually create a game, but it's all anyway, like the creative is the game. Yeah.
Good tips.
Any questions?
I think I answered everything as we went along.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. So
what do you think will happen next with the creatives? Let's get some predictions in.
Oh yeah, you love predictions.
Fuck predictions. My biggest prediction.
I never want to be wrong. I don't like predictions, so I can't be wrong.
No, well, I wasn't wrong with the hyper casual adaptation of the creatives. So it's like I've been saying this for 6 months, and it's really happening. I told you so. Yeah. But what would be next?
I'm assuming IDFA, like must have had like an impact as well, right?
Sure, but you want to get those creatives as broad as possible, and how else you want to do that? Like the hyper casuals are already like broad enough, so that definitely helped. I'm not sure that's. I mean, I don't want to say going again like a little bit like one step deeper into the fake ads, but definitely something like that's gonna happen very soon.
I think so too. There will be something even more tricky and even more fake that will probably perform well, at least for some period of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's, everybody said like this is going away already, Facebook, Google, ad networks, but it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And it's going to be like innovated even more into more bullshit and more fake fake ads. But if it makes sense and if it makes money, it's fine. All good with me. And with that, I think that's it for today's session. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And thank you very much, Felix and Jakub, for being here with me and listening to all these creative shenanigans.
Yeah, thanks for the tips, Mate.
Yeah, good ones.
Oh, yeah. And listeners, subscribe on the YouTube and other channels to get these awesome sessions right away. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.